Hello, I'm back on YouTube to tell you a little bit about how I've been progressing with the DLI GLOSS Gulf Arabic dialogues. I have already worked through over 50% of the material in the, let's say resource. As you can see from this bar here on screen in this program called Work Audiobook, I've crossed the 50% mark, maybe that's 60% or so, but that amounts to actually 45 minutes, and there's still another 40 or so to go. So, as you can see here, it's quite a thick wad of paper already, only making up about half. I wanted to show you how I go about studying a lesson from this package and the kind of things that I've been doing to maximize the efficiency of my study. So, here is the first dialogue. It starts at 0 seconds, 0 minutes, 0 seconds, and you can see it kind of goes through them like this. I think it's a good idea to mark the time, because then you can easily revise it by using the program that I just mentioned here on screen. I generally have annotated these pages by linking the Arabic words on the right with the English translation on the left with a coloured pen. My favourite pen is this one because all the colours are in one pen like that, very conveniently. I tend to focus, if I can, on the 3-letter root of verbs. So, what would be a good example here? I go right in. Here, for example, what's this one here? It looks like carry. Is that carry? No, that's not right. Let's go on a bit more. Here, for example, to rob. That is to steal. That has the root of S, to, and E. So, it also has a preposition. I've written it kind of small next to it, and it also has this person marker. But the person marker changes, so it's less important. I write that small too. The important thing is to have all three. And you can see from the different colours that it stands out in the page when you revise it. It has no other meaning than that, but I just think it's a fun way to work. So, all these two have different roots. Is to steal as well, slightly different meaning. And here, for example, is to fall. Okay, now I wanted to show you how I approach a fresh page, a new lesson of this. So that's what I'm going to do. This one's called Electronics, and it's at the 44-minute mark. I know this because I tested it. This should be the first line. And that's correct. Yeah, see? So, we're at minute 44:06. The date is the 6th of April 2020. Oh, look at that. Lots of 4s and 6s here. Okay, so first line is Salam alaikum, walaikum assalam. The two characters are female customer and salesman, and this is what I first like to do. Female customer is mashtariya. Oh, by the way, let me just do a sound test. Stop. Back. Ooh, that's a bit quiet. Let's turn that up a bit. That's better. So I like to just mark off so I can look at it later. Mashtariya. And the word for salesman. Il-ba'i. And then, when these words repeat again and again and again in the format of a play, I'm just going to rub them out like this. You can try and guess why before I tell you. Just delete them all like this. Yeah, like I'm a censor or something. Down here, down here, down here, and so on. The reason I do this is because when you're shadowing a text in this bilingual format, your eye is always switching left to right. And when your eye switches left to right, it's easy for your eye to get hung on the wrong word, or to look in the wrong place, namely too far right in this case, and be reading this word while you're hearing this word. And sometimes you can get fatally waylaid in this manner. Okay, so moving on. I'm going to listen to the first line. With this software, it's very easy. You just press N to listen to the adjacent chunk, and it should be pre-chunked in manageable chunks. That's a bad example. Let's try it again. Press N.
وعليكم السلام. تفضل يا أختي. شلون أساعدك؟
I'm going to manually shorten that. Press space to play again.
وعليكم السلام. تفضل يا أختي.
No, I didn't even look at the page.
وعليكم السلام. تفضل يا أختي. شلون أساعدك؟
Okay, that's pretty typical. Yep. Welcome, sister. Can I help you? How can I help you? Next, I'm going to press N again, and it progresses.
أبي أشتري حاسوب وتليفون موبايل جديد.
Oh, that was... I think I got it.
أبي أشتري حاسوب وتليفون موبايل جديد.
Got it. Did you see that? أبي أشتري, I want to buy. حاسوب. That's interesting. والتليفون موبيل جديد. And this is interesting to me. I'm going to be marking this. Let's use red. I'm going to mark the whole thing because the three roots are here, here, and here. And in the middle, computer, I've heard, but this is also possible. And I know that this three root key is also the verb. This is a noun. This is also a verb for accounting, to account. So it's like an accounting machine, a computer. I know this, I recognize this because in German actually we have the same thing, rechnen and Rechner. That means calculate and computer, respectively. I put the other missing letters, like this aleph, in a small diacritical form. That way they don't distract me, because they're not really so important. I'm interested in the roots. Next, press N.
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
Again.
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
Ta.
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
إيدي.
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
طاح من إيدي. I think I hear a sort of من إي.
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
من إي. I don't hear it مني, I hear من إي. So I'm just going to write that in there as a hamza. There, just
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
to reflect what I'm hearing. من إيدي بالشغل. شغل. That one's sometimes a r, isn't it? So I also write that down just so that I'm explicitly stating what I'm hearing. It's a r, but it should be a r.
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
It's more of a k, really. It's something I've noticed before, that these three are sort of interchangeable. And
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
طاح من إيدي.
الموبايل حقي طاح من إيدي بالشقة.
Next chunk.
وانكسر.
تبين لا.
Oh, see, that's no good. That begins with the next person's. That continues to the next person's line.
وانكسر.
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 I heard a m, and I also write these down. And maybe it's just me being crazy, but I tend to write it down.
وانكسر.
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 Kasar, I'm going to put down two. It's not a verb I always see, but I think I've seen it before. Kasar, broke, is and I'm going to check. Oh, why is it a n? Put the n in there. It means like we break, but it can't mean we break. Oh, it's the passive. It's the passive. It's where the verb. Yeah, in is the passive marker. So anyway, I'm going to go now to the first page I showed you with 000, turn it over, and here I've made like a little dictionary of all the verbs with their three-letter roots. So going down the list to k, there it is. I should have kasr. This is in no order, by the way, just the order I wrote them in. Okay, this is actually an old version. Maybe it's in the new version. My own system here. There. The new one, a bit more tidy. And the K. Kasa. There it is. Right there at the end. So that's already in my database. Don't need to put that one in again. Okay, video is getting a bit long. Let's try one more.
تبين لابتوب لو ديسكتوب
أبي لا
تبين لابتوب لو ديسكتوب
Dublin.
تبين لابتوب لو ديسكتوب
What is that? That's pretty easy. Do you want a laptop or a desktop?
عندنا
Oh,
تبين لابتوب لو ديسكتوب
أبي لابتوب
laptop.
تبين
I
لاب
want a laptop. Well, the video is going to get long if I continue, so I think I'll just call it a day there. I recommend that if you're working with pen and ink, use a colored pen. I enjoy it at least. Use this software here on the screen, Work Audiobook, highly recommended and for free. And also to keep a record of all the routes that you're learning. It really, I mean, it's an old tip, everyone says it, but it really, really helps. And I think it's a lot of fun, especially when you get to comparing them to the noun forms, for example. I mean, these are verbs and these are nouns. You can basically represent them the same way. They're all based on the same foundation. And also, using the three roots, the thing that I've been most recently doing is comparing the singular forms, for example here, the word for number, with the plural forms. And you can see here with the snake-like line that there's the same pattern for this one, for example. I think that's D. I forget what that is. Religion? I'm not sure. But that's singular, that's plural. Deen or adyan. And here, Bakam or Arqam. So there's the same pattern of alifs here. Okay, so that's my recommendation, that's my progress with the DLI GLOSS Gulf Arabic dialogues. And I look forward to checking back in with you in the future to give you a new update. Alright, so bye!